So the Rothschilds, the banks, and then all of the banks and their corporations have figured out how to corrupt with bribery or blackmail politicians. In the United States, for example, Senator John McCain and Senator Lindsey Graham are known to be blackmailed by the CIA. Wayne Madsen has written that story. This is not something I have direct knowledge of. It's just out there. I believe that Marco Rubio and Chuck Schumer are also being blackmailed. What most people don't realize is the National Security Agency has spent the last 20 years spying on our own politicians and on all of your politicians. I guarantee you 20% of your politicians are being blackmailed in some way by the deep state, okay? Which includes the Vatican, by the way. The Vatican is the biggest bank, and it also includes Saudi Arabia and the Zionists in Israel. And I want to emphasize that Israel and Jews are not the threat. The threat is Zionists who are abusing their control of Israel and the blackmail and bribery that Israel is capable of. Jeffrey Epstein, the world's most famous pedophile, is a Mossad agent. He was given $1 billion by a real billionaire and told to go to New York and create a no-name hotel. These are hotels that are very, very elite and exclusive. They're so exclusive that you don't know they're there unless you're one of the special invited elites. So he created a no-name hotel in New York and Lolita Island, which Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton visited multiple times by themselves, which is to say they each have different tastes, okay? Jeffrey Epstein has everybody that's worth anything on video doing something bad to a child, all right? This is serious business. And so blackmail, as well as bribery, are the way in which the deep state controls the political parties at the top. So the false flag agenda. I have managed a false flag operation for the CIA. What false flag really means is not what it appears to be. The term originated in naval warfare, where a ship would fly the flag of their enemy in order to approach close enough to surprise them. That's where the term false flag started. No one died in my false flag operation. We were simply trying to deceive a country into doing something it shouldn't do, but that we wanted it to do. I believe that the attacks in Paris were false flags. I have seen the videotape showing that the Berlin truck was a false flag. The video actually shows the truck being arranged as a theatrical set before the so-called event took place. I have written a chapter on Orlando as a false flag operation, identifying 70 anomalies that I sent by certified mail to the director of the FBI, saying, if there's anything in here that you don't agree with, please let me know. I got no answer. The fact is, when an attack occurs and someone claims it's a false flag, if you haven't had your hands in the blood and guts of the people that allegedly died, there are probably no dead people. It's all theatrics. It's all intended to keep the public afraid and focused on the fact that their government is a totally illegitimate government that is not working in the best interest of the public, okay? False flag attacks are manipulative attacks and they're against the public interest. I also talk about 9/11. 13 countries warned us in advance about 9/11. And Dick Cheney, instead of deciding to stop 9/11, took it over. Months in advance of 9/11, he declared a national counterterrorism exercise for the day of 9/11. The dogs were taken out of the buildings in New York 2 weeks prior to 9/11 and were not allowed back in. There is ample video evidence of controlled demolitions both before the event and after the event. Before the event, all the dust from the drilling and everything, and then after the event, the little pops out from the sides of the building. This is all clearly visible, okay? The media was part of the scam. The media received a narrative before 9/11, and in a couple of cases, the media started their narrative too soon, and this is a matter of record. The Pentagon was hit by a missile, not by an airplane. And the early pictures have a hole before the thing collapses, okay? I've cleaned up after a helicopter accident. There are body parts and marine packs and everything, debris all over the place. And also engines generally don't go into buildings because buildings tend to have steel beams every 14 inches. And so normally what happens is the cockpit will go into the building and then the rest of the plane will fall off and drop down to the ground. There is absolutely no question in my mind but that 9/11 was an orchestrated false flag for which Dick Cheney is personally accountable. And you can find out more at my website, phi-beta-iota.net. The AIG offices were pre-configured with huge stores of gasoline to create the theatrical effect of fires and flames and so on. So in my personal opinion, Dick Cheney murdered 3,000 people on 9/11 in order to get a Pearl Harbor justification for going into Iraq. And there are 935 lies that were documented that were used to go into Iraq. Hillary and Obama are being misrepresented to the public by a media that is playing out the deep state narrative. And in fact, we have something even worse. In the social media now, we have what we call Google Gestapo. Okay, it's a hashtag. So # Google Gestapo. During the election, Google manipulated all the search results so that anyone who searched for Hillary plus crime would only get the results for Hillary without crime. And anyone who searched for Trump, I don't make this stuff up, would get the results for Trump plus Hitler. Okay? This is blatant propaganda, manipulation, and a violation of multiple laws of the United States of America. Now we find that Google, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube are all terrified because all of a sudden the public is focusing on pedophilia. Pedophilia is a big problem all over the world, and it's a problem that has infected most political families, all right? And so what they're doing now is they're testing their ability to censor people who are either talking about pedophilia or pro-Trump. And so they're censoring those people at the same time that they're elevating the people who are pro-Hillary, pro-Obama, and so forth. Some of the statements, such as Loretta Lynch on YouTube calling for blood in the streets, are seditionist. They're treason. She could legitimately be arrested and charged for sedition in the United States of America.
The Republican Party has historically been the party that is most connected to Wall Street, the Illuminati, and the Satanists that use pedophilia as well as, this is a very delicate topic. It turns out that drinking children's blood is an anti-aging device. This is just really sick and disgusting, but it's a fact. It's a chemical fact. And if you drink adrenalized children's blood, which is to say you terrorize the child, not just with sodomy, but with torture and with other satanic ritual things. If you adrenalize the child's blood before you kill them and drink their blood, this is a doubly effective anti-aging device. You can also harvest children's bone marrow. So children are being killed for their bone marrow as an anti-aging device for the elite. I don't make this stuff up. This is what I'm being told and reading about. Yes, it is terrible, Sarah, but it is something that's gone on. It's gone on throughout history. This is not new, and it's not unique to the Americans.
When it comes to the question of ET or alien contact and UFOs, He's debriefed on this. Whether they exist or not, whatever it is, he's going to be exposed to this. Do you think...
Don't assume that.
That's my question. Do you think he was exposed to this? And with the other stuff that he was exposed to that he knew nothing about going in, do you think that changed him on that day, that there was a pre-Donald Trump and then a post-Donald Trump after that first day in the White House?
That's an extraordinarily intelligent and important question. I'm absolutely certain he has been changed. I'm also absolutely certain he has not been told more than 20% of what he needs to know.
What about the ET agenda?
Well, there certainly are at least 2 active ET races on Earth right now. There have been as many as 8. Trump, to his credit, is declassifying some of the anti-aging and free energy technology. You got to give the guy credit because he has essentially accomplished many great things while fighting a world war against him. Okay, so I do not diminish our president's accomplishments in any way. What he has accomplished in the face of enormous opposition from everybody, including Paul Ryan and Scott Walker and Reince Priebus, is nothing short of miraculous for the first 100 days.